Alrighty, my name is Angelos Vandelis. I am the founder of Sales Fusion IO, and what I'm going to do in this video is give you a walkthrough of most of the kind of core tools, core software tools that I've used to close about $3 million in deals in the past couple of years. I'll just give you kind of a walkthrough of each one, what it does, why I use it, and why I like it. And if you want access to this list, there's going to be a link in the description for you to use. So without further ado, let's jump right in. The first thing on the list here is going to be Close. Okay, so this is the CRM that I currently use. In my opinion, it is the CRM that's most built with the salesperson in mind, and it's the most kind of lean and just streamlined workflow that you'll see in a CRM. That's on the market right now. So that is what I'm currently using. I've used HubSpot in the past as well. A lot of my clients, I either get them on Close or HubSpot, depending on what they need. Close is a great option, and we'll have everything that you need, and they are, continuing to improve that as well. So that is what I use internally, and I would recommend it. Apollo, I use this for lead sourcing, for outbound email. So there's 3 lead sourcing tools that I typically use. I use a couple more, but these are the, if I had to choose 3 to, use consistently, it would be Apollo, Lead Hype, and Sales Navigator. So Apollo, this is they have their own database essentially that you can filter out and source leads based on your different criteria or ideal customer profiles that you lay out in the system. Lead Hype, this one's great. They have a few different ways of sourcing leads. The one that I mainly use is their tie-in with Sales Navigator. So they have a native Sales Navigator function where you can actually do a search within the platform on Sales Navigator without using your own Sales Nav, and source leads from there. And the amount of leads that you get per day is very high. So you can source, I believe it's like 5,000 leads per day. So it's very high, and you get a lot of value for the investment there. That's one of the drawbacks with a tool like Apollo. It's a little bit, it's on the more expensive side, right? So if you don't have not that, even if you were to use all of these, your budget would be maybe $1,000 per month, or rather your investment would be around $1,000 a month. But if you are on a bit of a tighter budget, for example, maybe you wouldn't use something like Apollo, just because the cost per contact is a little bit higher. Now, Sales Navigator, this is going to be useful if you're doing any type of LinkedIn outbound, right? Or if you have a tool like Apollo and you want to use their plugin, their Chrome plugin or extension, to source and scrape that Sales Navigator list that you build out. So I've used Sales Navigator for probably 5-6 years now. It's always been kind of a key part of the stack here, and I'll probably continue to use it, of course. And it ties in with Expandy. So when I get into the next thing here, the further down the list, we'll talk about Expandy, but it kind of ties in with the LinkedIn automation element. For outbound email to write the campaigns and launch them, I use Instantly. This company was founded by a couple of my co-workers from a previous company that we all worked at about 2.5 years ago. And they branched off and built out Instantly. So I've used a lot of different outbound email platforms and softwares and tools. Instantly by far is the best one that I've used. So that's why I use it, and that's why it has been a part of my stack for the last, I would say, 6 months or so, and no plans on ever moving away from that. They've done a fantastic job with the platform and continue to make improvements. For communications and sales calls, I just use Zoom, of course. I don't have to go too in depth into that one, I don't think. Same with Slack. Use that for internal communications and communications with customers. For the funnel, I use Webflow. Used to use things like, I've tried Wix, I've tried ClickFunnels. When I was just starting out, I used Wix just because it was, the easiest thing to get up and running kind of quickly. Then I shifted over to ClickFunnels for a bit, but soon after I changed over to Webflow because it is a little bit more sophisticated, in my opinion, and customizable. And if you want to do anything, a little bit more custom, Webflow is definitely the way to go. and it just looks more professional. You can get even like the templates are great on Webflow, so I would recommend that if you are building out your funnel. For scheduling, I use Calendly. That's kind of always been my go-to. Has everything you need, of course. I've also used HubSpot, but right now Calendly, is kind of the clear front runner in scheduling tools. To tie everything together, of course, I use Zapier. Again, I don't think I have to go too in depth into why I use Zapier, but nevertheless, you need to tie all this stuff together. So Zapier is again, kind of the front runner in terms of integrations in an API software. So that's why I use it. For domains and email accounts, I use Google Domains and G Suite. So for my kind of core domain, I use Google Domains, and then for any outbound domains and sending accounts, I also use Google Domains and G Suite. For accounting, I use QuickBooks, just to kind of keep track of everything on the books. And then for LinkedIn automation, I use Expandy. This is a good tool. You can load up a couple of LinkedIn accounts on there, and I would recommend being cautious with LinkedIn automation. I don't go crazy with the numbers there. I keep the requests and messages pretty low, but if you have multiple accounts operating at any given time, obviously that will compound. So Expandy is a good tool. You can build out connector campaigns, you can build out messaging campaigns, and some pretty some pretty good workflows as well. So like conditional workflows, which is great. There are a few other tools that I've had my eye on in terms of LinkedIn automation, but Expandy for now is the one that I am going to stick with, and I would recommend it if you are getting into LinkedIn automation. But I would be wary of limits and take it slow. For building out workflows and wireframes, little typo there. For building out workflows and wireframes, I use Miro, similar to like Lucidchart, or there's another one another name that's slipping my mind right now. But nevertheless, it's great for just building out kind of high-level action flows or your wireframes. So that's why I use it. The UX is great. I just like the whole UI and UX experience in comparison to Lucidchart, so that's why I use it. And then for Twitter kind of content automation and planning and scheduling, I use Hypefury. So you can schedule, you can sit down for a few hours, write out a few days of tweets and threads, and then they have different features that allow you to auto DM and auto plug your whatever you're trying to plug or get traffic to. So that's why I use that. It just saves a ton of time on putting out Twitter content. So this is the stack that I'm currently using. If I were starting from scratch and I had a budget, let's say of around $1,000, this would be my stack. There are maybe a few things that you could interchange that wouldn't really affect the outcomes too much, but this is what I've used to go from 0 to 3 million in deals in just a couple of years. And a lot of the stuff here is pretty well cemented in the stack for now. So if you need any help with this kind of stuff as it relates to growing and increasing your lead volume and your deal volume and your sales efficiency, and you don't want to increase your overhead a ton by hiring salespeople or kind of running around figuring out what you need to do, then book a call. Our whole business is really centered around getting you the biggest return as quickly as possible using formulated sales funnels and automations in terms of your conversion process. So if you want to see what that looks like and see if there's any synergies there, then book a call and we will see if we can help you in any way. Appreciate the time, and I will see you in the next one.